A variable is a letter or symbol that is used to stand for an unknown number. In math, most often letters are used. And there are a couple of new things that are important to learn when you first start working with variables. Since the variable x is very commonly used, the way multiplication is written is changed because a multiplication sign and the variable x look very similar. Multiplication is now going to look a couple of different new ways. One way is when multiplying a number by a variable, you can write it like that with a dot instead of the multiplication sign that you are used to. And that says 4 times m. Another way to say 4 times m is like that. When a number is next to a number or a variable is right next to a parentheses without an operation sign, it means to multiply. You can also write when working with a number and a variable, when they're right next to each other, that also reads 4 times m. A way that you are not going to see it is like this, because now that reads 4xm with using two different variables, x and m. You can also see these ways when working with two numbers. You can see 4 times 2 written like that. You can see 4 times 2 written like that. And you can also see, okay, so we're not using this one, but you could see 4 times 2 still written like that when you're working with two different numbers, no variables. A way that you're not going to see 4 times 2 written is like that, because that still means 42. So when two numbers are next to each other, that just means a number. But when a number and a variable are next to each other, that means to multiply. So these are a couple of your new ways to write multiplication. Being able to solve equations with variables can come in very handy when you need to make important financial decisions. For example, you want to buy cookies. Let's say these cookies are going to cost you $3 for each pack. You need to figure out the right amount of packs to buy without spending too much money. So you could set up an equation like this. 3 times n, 3 being the amount that each pack costs, and n being the amount of packs that you're going to buy. And then you would solve to see the amount that it's going to cost you. So you would substitute in a number for n to represent the amount of packs that you're going to buy. So it could be 1, it could be 5, it could be 10, and then solve to see how much money you're going to spend. So let's try this with an equation. If we have s minus 9 when s equals 45. So we have this expression here, s minus 9, and they tell you what s equals. So what we're going to do is substitute in the new value for s and rewrite the equation. So we have 45 minus 9 now. So all we did was replace s with the new value that we have for it. Now we can solve this expression. 45 minus 9 equals 36. Let's try to solve this when s equals a different value. Let's try it when s equals 10. So we're going to rewrite this expression with the new value for s, and then we can solve, and we come up with 1. Let's try another one. Okay, so a minus 3 plus 4 when a equals 7. So we're going to rewrite the problem with the new value for a. So we just replace 7 with a, and now we can solve. According to order of operations, we need to do parentheses first. So 7 minus 3 is 4, and then bring down the rest of the problem, and we come up with 8. Let's try for a new value of a. Let's solve for when a equals 5. So we're going to rewrite the problem with the new value and solve according to order of operations, parentheses first. Bring down the rest of the problem, and our answer is 6. Let's try a new problem. Okay. Whenever there's more than one of the same variable, you're just going to replace that variable with the number given for each time you see it. So let's try that. So when g equals 6, we can rewrite the problem with the new value for g. So I just substituted in 6 every time I saw g. So now we can solve according to order of operations. 6 minus 2 is 4. Bring down the rest of the problem. And we end up with 24. Now, if you're feeling comfortable with this, please feel free to push pause in a second and use the new value for g and solve it by yourself, and then come back and check your answer. Let's try when g equals 4. Okay, so we're going to substitute in 4 for g every time we see g, and then solve according to order of operations. Bring down the rest of the problem, and we come up with a value of 8 this time. To practice this concept, please complete the worksheet I have provided and check your answers with the answer key. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.